One of the biggest things to ever happen to Call of Duty was Warzone. Ever since the introduction of that mode, it's changed COD as a whole and affected everything else within it. Zombies, multiplayer, even the campaign you could say. It's clear to see that Warzone is now Activision's priority, which you would expect. It is their moneymaker, it is what brings in the most players, so from a business point of view, you can't blame them. And in the beginning when we first had Verdansk, it was new, it was fresh, it was exciting, it was actually good. I liked it anyway, I played it for a couple of years. We've had it in the game ever since Modern Warfare 2019, but then as the years have rolled by, one thing's become clear, and that is the developers will put Warzone above everything else and allow any of the other modes, like I said, zombies and MP, to suffer. But just before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Exit Lag. Never again suffer with lag, ping, packet loss or jitter. Developed from scratch by gamers, for gamers, Exit Lag is the ultimate solution for enhancing your gaming experience. It's more than just an optimization tool, it addresses server related issues and offers dedicated routes to ensure smooth, lag-free gameplay. Just some of the features I love are Exit Lag's AI route optimizer, which identifies the best routes for data packets in real time, optimizing the connection across over 2,000 game servers worldwide. Exit Lag's dynamic stabilizer routes data packets through up to 4 different paths simultaneously, ensuring faster, more secure and fail-proof delivery. And I also love its scalable infrastructure, with over 1,000 servers across 5 continents and 18 million weekly optimizations. Exit Lag guarantees superior game performance regardless of your location. All of this improves my gaming experience by reducing my latency and increasing my connection stability. It's super simple to set up for yourself. If you just click my link down in the description, it will take you over to Exit Lag's website, where you can then click Get Exit Lag right here, select which plan you want, either the solo or multiplayer plan, so duo is for 2 users or squad for 5 people, and you can go from there. And the best part is, through my link in the description, you can try Exit Lag for yourself totally free for 3 days. So there we go, go ahead and get Exit Lag for yourself and enhance your gaming experience. So as I was saying, Warzone's effect on zombies and the multiplayer is something I've noticed massively being a zombies player. It's changed this mode drastically and did cause a downfall, and even for the multiplayer, that mode, even though you might not really notice it, revolves around Warzone as well. Zombies has been around pretty much since the beginning of Call of Duty back in 2008 World at War. Yes, we had games before that, COD 4 and then COD 3, COD 2, the big red one, and the original Call of Duty, but COD 4 was really where Call of Duty began for most people. So when you think about it, it's insane that Call of Duty Zombies has been around since the very beginning, and multiplayer of course has existed even longer. These 2 modes are staples in Call of Duty. They are what made it and helped to get it to where it is now. And then Warzone all of a sudden made its introduction in 2019, over 10 years later, and now that's Activision's baby, and the 2 OG modes, zombies and multiplayer, are an afterthought. They're not the most important anymore, because they simply don't have the player base that Warzone does, especially zombies. It's always been classed as the 3rd mode anyway in games like Black Ops 3 with Zombies Chronicles, and then especially Black Ops 4. It felt like things had finally taken a turn, and then when we had Cold War, Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3, we were set back to reality. But zombies was making its way up. Multiplayer was always super important until Warzone came along. And now, both of these modes, well, to put it this way, if Activision had to decide between the 3, they're choosing Warzone all day. Zombies and multiplayer would get nuked. Fortunately, things haven't gone that far. Activision don't need to make that decision. All 3 can exist at the same time, as we've seen. But what it does mean is Warzone's influence has changed both of these modes forever. Some would say for the better, in terms of us now having loadouts in zombies and armor and loot. Those systems were introduced in Cold War and a lot of people like them, but at the same time, a lot of people don't. And similarly with multiplayer, although Warzone's influence isn't as noticeable, there are tiny things that you notice now and again, especially when it comes to the content side, the amount of maps and the quality of them, where if Warzone didn't exist, you'd be getting a higher quality experience, because all of that focus the developers put in to Warzone would be transferred back to the multiplayer. So even though I don't really touch MP anymore and I only play zombies, I do also feel sorry for the multiplayer players, because us zombies players have had this the hardest. We know what it feels like. So I do also feel sorry for anyone that, you know, enjoys the multiplayer, plays it regularly, and has noticed its downfall due to Warzone. And I suppose that's the question. Has Warzone ruined Call of Duty? Now from a zombies point of view, which I can speak on, 100%. If Warzone didn't exist, then we wouldn't have things such as armor in zombies, we wouldn't have loadouts, we wouldn't have this disgusting looking HUD, which is clearly inspired by Warzone and meant to help Warzone players transfer easier to zombies. But none of that is necessarily Warzone's fault, because those are all developer decisions. Treyarch, Sledgehammer, whoever the developer is, could easily leave all of those features to Warzone, and they could create a unique looking zombies HUD. They could decide not to introduce loadouts into zombies or armor. Even though these are Warzone systems, it is still the developer's choice to add them into zombies. They didn't have to do it, but they have, and it's resulted in this, a game mode that's lost its identity. And I think on one hand, that's also what they were trying to achieve. As we saw at the COD Next event, Treyarch admitted that they wanted to make it so Warzone players can easily transfer into zombies, so that you're not coming into this mode and feeling unfamiliar with it, like it's overwhelming or too much or too difficult. They wanted to make zombies so that anyone who plays Warzone can get into this mode and know exactly what everything does. You can look at the HUD and say, hang on, this HUD is pretty much the exact same as the one I see in Warzone. I know what this is down the bottom left, I know what this is down the bottom right. This is the specialist icon, so this must be for the specialist weapons. That is the health bar, that is the armor bar. This new Warzone-ified HUD that we have in zombies, which looks absolutely disgusting and bland, boring. There's nothing zombie unique about it. Treyarch, like we had in some Black Ops 2 maps or Black Ops 3 maps, could easily make some of the icons on this screen unique to zombies, just zombify them in any way, but they won't, because then Warzone players might be confused. Without Warzone, we would have a better looking HUD in zombies. Systems such as scrap, which I guess counts as ground loot, that would also include things such as grenades, Molotovs, C4, anything that you can pick up off the floor in zombies, never used to be a thing. Loot is a Warzone feature. We don't even have that in multiplayer, so why it was introduced to zombies? Well, I was going to say, I don't know, but I've just told you the answer. It doesn't feel zombies in any way. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but for me there was never a need for loot to be introduced into zombies. On modes like Outbreak, I think it works, where we also have chests, another Warzone feature, but in round-based zombies, loot was something that never needed to be introduced, but it was. Again, to aid the Warzone players. Kill streaks in zombies is another big thing. Whilst, yes, they're fun, at least the first few times to get a chopper gunner or get a sentry gun, they don't really feel like they belong in zombies. In Cold War, they always felt out of place just being able to stop in the middle of the rounds, open up your laptop, and then fly a chopper gunner around and shoot the undead from above. It's fun for a couple of games, but after that, it's just another thing that actually doesn't fit in zombies. Being able to just pause mid-round to use a chopper gunner and have the zombies not attack you, that just isn't and never has been Call of Duty zombies. It doesn't fit in with the theming. Or you could actually say it does fit in with the theming, because the theming is Warzone. Loadouts is another huge one. I know a lot of people love the option to choose your weapon. A lot of people hate it. It has now caused other issues, such as you not needing to purchase the mystery box much anymore or buy wall weapons. It's fun to start off with the weapon of your choice, which is always going to be the best weapon in the game, but at the same time it removes that challenge of zombies of having to start off in round one with a really bad weapon, normally a pistol, and then work your way up, buying wall weapons and spinning the box as many times as you can to get the weapon that you want and then pack-a-punch it. That survival aspect of zombies from round 1 to like round 10, 15, something like that, is now non-existent, because you can start off with the best weapon in the game and it's easy. Being able to choose your weapon is a Warzone feature. It's also multiplayer, but MP and zombies coexisted for the longest time side by side, never affected one another. They did their own thing, but as soon as Warzone came along, look what's happened. Operators is another huge one. Operators should never be in zombies, but here we are. Armor, again, never belonged in zombies. It was never needed because we had Juggernog, but now we have it and its only purpose is to make the game easier for Warzone players. You can see how much Warzone has had an effect on zombies, and not in a good way. I don't feel like any of this is good, because how can the introduction of features which cause a mode to lose its own identity possibly be good? Warzone is now their first thought, multiplayer is now their second thought, and zombies is last. I definitely think it's something to think about, because a lot of players probably don't, and more so, all of this is a developer choice. Treyarch, whoever, could easily decide to leave all of those features in Warzone, leave them out of zombies, but they decided to introduce them to help out Warzone players. There's no other reason, because those Warzone players, that mode is the priority, which would be fine if it didn't affect zombies and if it didn't affect the multiplayer. I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of wishes Warzone would die. Not that it didn't exist, because I liked it when it came out, but we've had it for such a long time now, it feels like it's become such a drag. I don't even feel like the developers even put as much attention into that anymore, because they've already got the player base. I just like to imagine sometimes what current zombies would be like. So Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6, if Warzone never existed. Perhaps all of these games would still have more of their own identities instead of feeling more of the same, because you look at Black Ops Cold War zombies, you look at Black Ops 6 zombies, they look relatively the same. BO6 looks like Cold War zombies 2.0. It's the same with Vanguard zombies. I think Vanguard's got a little bit more character just because it takes place in a different time during World War II, but the actual mechanics of the game aren't that much different. They changed the look of the perks and stuff like that, but the way the game actually works and feels is very much like Cold War. It's the same with Modern Warfare 3 zombies. I mean, it's a dead giveaway in that game. It takes place on the Warzone map, but ever since the introduction of Warzone, zombies across all of the games we've had since then has felt more or less the same, whereas back in the day, every game felt different, and I don't think we're ever going to return to that. It's also got to do with the fact that we now have the Call of Duty HQ and all of the games taking place on the same, I don't even know how to word it, but it's not just zombies. I think every Call of Duty since this has happened is going to feel more or less the same. The identity of COD altogether has been lost. So yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.